Hi, Basement Dwellers. This is just a friendly reminder that if you'd like to be a supporter of the show, you can do so at our Patreon at patreon.com/basementdwellerproductions. We have 3 tiers of subscription. You can do 5, 10, or 15, also known as the Basement Bay. If you do the $15 subscription, you do also get a one-of-one art piece by yours truly. We would really appreciate it. We can definitely use the support. So, love you guys.
Quick announcement before we get into this week's episode that on Saturday, September 9th, the Basement Dwellers will be joining the ScaredyCast podcast for the first ever ScaredyCon, located at Taproom 120 in Gilbert. It's going to be an all-day event featuring local podcasts, local beers, food trucks, and local Arizona artists. There's going to be a whole vendors location across the board. Feel free to pick up some really awesome memorabilia and merch. It's going to be a great time. Again, Basement Dwellers will be doing our very first ever live show there, Taproom 120, Gilbert, Arizona, hosted by the awesome ScaredyCast. That's going to be from noon to midnight. Feel free to check it out, and let's start the show.
Allow me to introduce myself.
You're tapped in with the Basement Dwellers, hosted by your boys Jacob Santoro and Christian Talone.
You're blabbering about unnecessary stuff. Cut it out.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button to get all the updates from the channel too.
Tell me what your hand's doing over that button first.
But for now, just loud shout and kick back, cause I got a fresh one right here delivered to your speakers. Lock in.
Ba-boom! We're back after a week of... It's my fault. It's always my fault when we miss a week because I'm out here traveling, always going to Vegas or gallivanting around. I leave my husband at home without me to not do the show. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's all right. I
I'm
was
glad-
really bored.
I know. I'm glad to be back, though. We're at episode 97, almost to 100 episodes, and I'm very excited because for the first time in a long time, we haven't had a guest in a while, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple months, I think.
We just don't like people usually on that couch anymore.
That's fair.
We kind of use it for, other things,
Yeah.
Some fucking local band. I don't fucking... We got Keegan and Mike. We got you guys from Another Day's Demons. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's right. How are you? Thank you for coming.
Man, thanks for having us. We're doing really well.
Good. Chilling. I can tell. You look incredibly tired. You look a little nervous. It's okay.
I'm just here.
We appreciate that. We have 2 singers on the couch right now, which is a huge fucking ego boost for everyone in this room. We have 2 hosts of a podcast and 2 singers, so you guys know exactly what it's like to just be the loudest of the group.
Oh yeah.
Solid choice, by the way. You guys are a 5-piece. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had for people who don't know, we actually had excuse me, we had Keegan and we had Carter from the same band on episode. Oh my God, it's been a while, but
I don't know.
yeah. So if you're, so welcome back. You are one of our few returning ones, and
Great to be back.
we're glad that you don't hate us yet. So that's cool.
Oh, nope. Great to be back. Love it. Love
Hey
it.
man,
Love it.
hey man,
First time here, so we'll see.
first time guest, never time listener. Glad to be here. Hey man, we just we learned that we don't have as much musical talent, so we're like, but we still want to be really full of ourselves. So let's just start a podcast.
That's the way to do it.
Right. I mean, I'm still a clown and I buy music equipment. I'm just not in a band about it. I had a brief moment of weakness right when we moved into this house that I was like, what I've always wanted was a 7-string guitar. Bought this awesome Schecter right next to me. I only play this one right here. You know how it goes with the 7 strings. And then I was like, cool, I know how to play Deftones. And then I just put it right on the fucking,
You got it made, man.
I got it made. I got it set. That's what everyone says. They're like, oh, wow, look at all this equipment. You guys must be like, I'm like, no, not at all. I mean, this is, it's our life. I mean, you've seen the room. The first thing Keegan says, like, is that Warhammer 40,000? I was like, yes, it is.
Fuck yeah, it is, dude.
It's our entire life. Christian actually painted 90% of what you see there.
That's gnarly.
And over there too. This is the new set. You haven't seen the new set yet, and like you said, you're a first timer here. We tried to make this as like a basement-y.
Yeah.
You see what we're kind of going for there,
I feel that, yeah.
I dig it.
There was a joke in the beginning of our show where it was like, "Oh, it's not a basement. Oh, it's gonna go in the basement." And first of all, fuck you. There's no basements in Arizona, but
Pretty much,
so we had to make do with it. I actually also want to say before we got into it, we were talking about the do not disturb thing. So I didn't know that existed on iPhones for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad that I found out because I'm addicted to my phone, like I'm sure we all are, right?
Yeah.
And I work from home, and sometimes I get really slacking on work because fucking phone's right there, and it's like I finally put that on. I'm like, this is helping so much because I forget that my phone's even there because it's not popping off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dad has been getting so fucking pissed off at me because my dad and I do this thing where we have like this sixth sense where at the most inopportune times is when we call each other. So like my dad works 1,000 hours a week. He bowls. That's like his whole thing is he likes to go bowling. He goes to the gym. And I don't know about your guys' parents, but like, do your parents do this thing where like if you call them, they answer, but they're like out to eat, or they're with friends, or they're at the grocery store? Like they could just not answer the phone.
Yeah.
His dad for sure.
Yeah, my dad for sure does that.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the worst about it.
Kind of makes you feel like a bag of shit sometimes because they're like, yeah, what? What's up? What?
Yeah.
But if you don't answer your phone, like my dad, I love him, but he does this thing. He does the thing that I hate where he's like, hey, bud, haven't talked to you in a while.
It's like, you talked to me
I'm like, dude, you
yesterday.
know how a fucking phone works, right? So he's been getting better at that, but then I put myself on Do Not Disturb, and then he's just like, you gotta fix your fucking phone, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just like, I'm fucking trying to avoid conversations with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I don't answer phone calls. I watch it go to voicemail.
Really?
And then just
He's
continue on
actually
with
the
my.
worst about
Really?
Like 100% the worst.
Are you one of those people that's just like, if it's important, you'll text me kind of thing?
Yeah. Like leave a voicemail. I'll listen to them. I probably won't call you back, but I'll shoot you a text.
Dude, even for the band, like we'll be texting about some important stuff, and I'll be like, you know what? Let me just call him. I need to talk to him, figure this out. He won't answer, and they'll text me right away, like, yo, what's up?
That drives me fucking insane, dude. I would kill you. I would honestly kill you. Like if I call twice, and like he and I have different like sleeping schedules and stuff like that. So I've come to the conclusion he's either sleeping or working, which is no big deal. But anyone else in my life, like my biggest ick of all time is if I call you, you don't answer. And I'm like, okay, whatever. They're probably busy. I call you again in 5 minutes. You don't say, I'm not answering because of this. You go, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking freak out. I hate that. Like it drives me crazy. And like, cause I've always been a call person. But I've had people call me. They're like they'll text me like, if I answer your call right now and it's not an emergency, I'm hanging up. That's my fucking anxiety. Like I have to hear your voice. So like if you text me like, what's up? Like I'm fucking.
You know what I do to him all the time, and I'm like, I'm sorry that I do it, but I'll like if I need to talk
he's
to him, just because I assume he's working or something, so I'll be like, hey, call me as soon as you can, right? And then he'll do that, and he'll call me like 3 or 4 times, and I just forget if my phone exists, and I don't answer it for the longest.
Because
Gotcha,
it's the most ADHD, just autistic thought of just like I saw this really funny video.
Yeah.
So it's not that important to him. Like after the 5 seconds it's happened.
Fair.
But like he wants me to live it with him in the moment, and then but again,
just
he,
share this with me, bud.
but he knows that everyone in my life. Like I just met you.
Yeah.
But if you got my contact information and you called me and I didn't answer and you were like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Can you give me a call right back?" You will get it. Like you will hit send. 5 seconds later, I'm going to call you.
Yep,
Like I'm
that's
just that person. I mean, and you guys are a 5-piece band, and I always feel like the more people that you put in that band, the more of like I always used to say, because when I was like in a high school band, like I always say like it's the relationship that. It's like your first polyamorous relationship. Like you have you have 4 other girlfriends. Like that's just what it feels like. You know what I mean? I'm sure.
100%.
I'm sure. Regardless, I mean, because we're all about the same age. Like, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
25.
25. And you're how old?
Fuck. 26.
Oh, so we are the oldest ones. Okay. I mean, we're all around that same age group, and it's just like I always thought that would change, but nah, dude. Like that was the one biggest thing. Like I always feel bad when I say this because I feel like I'm gonna cause a band breakup. Like, cause I'm just like, doesn't it suck to just talk to people all the time? Like,
100%.
just because your band had a lot of communication issues.
it's like a toxic relationship that just kept with me forever. So now I think every band just sucks at communicating. You know what I mean?
No, it's the worst part is having a group chat with those 5 people because most of it is just bullshit 90% of the time, and then something important will be said, and then it's just back to bullshit, and we forget all about it.
But it's in the, like it's in the
like a
middle of
daily
the bullshit.
occurrence.
It's like, what time was that gig again? Just
It's like,
bro,
by
it's
the way,
in
we have a
group
show
chat.
on Tuesday, and then just a bunch of memes after it.
That was 3 hours ago. Come on.
See, I have such impossible standards, and like what you're saying is totally fine. If I was the fucking president, group chats that you mention things that are not about the group chat, illegal, right to jail. Like
We've tried.
I can't.
Yeah,
no,
we
dude.
did try for
And
a
like,
while.
and there's things again that you can't control. Like we're friends with this guy Tyler who also plays 40K. I like the tabletop. I'm a fucking dum-dum. I don't read. I don't fucking do lore. I don't do any of that shit. But they love it. And so it's like sometimes I'll wake up and it just has like 87 messages on Messenger. And it's just them fucking like nonstop. But I have one for work too. And again, it's the same thing. Hey guys, I'm just wondering like when that project's me. And it's just like, cool. And then someone will finally say, it's in the group chat. I'm just like,
fucking where.
so fucking man. Like, ugh.
The worst for me is when I'm doing something, whether I'm like creating something or something. It's late at night and there's only possibly 2 or 3 out of the 5 of us that are awake and able to respond. and I'll be like, hey, and this is the most important thing right now. This is like, should I do this for this band related thing, blah 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 blah, whatever the case may be, and it's like one person looks at it, another person looks at it, someone replies, but the rest of them wake up later that day. They're like, I hate that idea. it's like that sucks because it already went through.
Like, why did you post
You've
that?
been outvoted, sir.
It's just been so long.
I'm always just sitting there with like the Morty face, like
Yeah, there's like a 24-hour review process that has to go through.
I don't
even
have
if
that
it's
patience.
important.
It's tough for sure. I mean, like, you guys are doing a lot of shows lately. I mean, it looks like you guys are posting a lot. And so I mean, that's good, right? Obviously, it's like, right, you know, for sure. I mean, it seems like you guys are doing a lot more shows. Would you say that it's like difficult to make sure everyone's available for the shows, or do you guys feel like you have a pretty good consistent schedule amongst the 5 of you?
We stay pretty consistent for the most part. Like sometimes we have like lapses in communication, but for the most part, we know each other's schedules pretty well. And we've kind of made our schedules around to where if we have a show, we can at least make it there on time to play. Like the guys that work their day jobs, they're off by the time we have to play a show, or we can organize it with the venue and be like, hey, you need to put us later in the set because these guys won't get off on time. So it works pretty well so far.
They fucking hate that.
I was going to say our venue's pretty like...
They hate it, but
They hate it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
time,
Well, we
yeah.
want you guys to still be able to work, so we're not gonna dramatize. I was like, please don't say any names, because I'm like, I don't want to get a message later like, dude, ever since we've been on your show, we can't fucking do the fucking, you know, I'm not even gonna say it.
Nah.
Look, and you know, we could talk about it later, because I feel like we definitely did start some shit last time you were on here. Not like, I think it wasn't with venues, but it was definitely with specific promoters, and I think that. There are
promoters in AZ.
Oh, horrible! Yeah, we can talk. That's
they
not
do.
even secret information, dude. That's not even censor worthy, dude. We know that. But you brought up a really good point, though. Like the whole like pushing it back. I can't imagine how much of like prima donnas some like venues will be.
Yeah.
If there's not like a huge headliner, is it still pretty difficult to be like, hey man, I'm sorry. Can we like, instead of going second, can we go third?
Well, 90% of the time, the venues like don't even want any part of that. They're like, contact all of the other bands, see what you can figure out. Contact your promoter. The promoters most of the time are like, oh, well, talk to the other bands. It's all on the bands to be like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to play the show. And this is when we contact them like 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like the day of saying like, oh, he's not going to get off work on time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, accurate. Yeah.
That's just so stressful to me, because I feel like in a situation like what Christian and I have is like, if I'm sick or vice versa, it's like the show can go on. It's in our house. We get to pick the schedule. You know what I mean? So it's like, even that thought of just like, all right, we're all good to go. And then the next day, one of you guys is like, oh, dude, like I got fucking fever. Like, and now no one can play. Like, that sucks. Like,
yeah.
Have you ever had to change anything like on the fly like that?
Luckily, we haven't yet. I don't think. There might have.
I know that we've like, no, it wasn't because
There was like one show we had to cancel on like within a few days' notice of it, but it was like a smaller show. Because somebody just couldn't get out of a work shift or something like that, and they couldn't like reschedule us to be later and everything. But out of all the shows we played, I think we've only had to do that once, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, because in your position, I mean, every show's important.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's and even if it wasn't, I mean, you guys seem to enjoy being on stage, you know, so it's like, it's always a crappy thing. I'm always just curious about, you know, again, like having to rearrange the schedule, because I always wondered how it felt. Cause like when I was trying my hand at like open mic comedy, you know what I mean? Like, it was ideal to go first, as like, if there's like 25 people waiting, you don't want to go 25th, because by the time you go, either people are gone, it's midnight, like no one wants to stick around.
Right.
So with all local shows, is there kind of like a prime location you want to be at? Like,
You want to be like around. So if doors open up at 6, you want to play at like 7:30 to 8. If the show's ending at like 10.
okay.
Because that's when like everyone's gonna finally be there. Everyone's getting off work.
Yeah, I prefer to be like mid-set,
Yeah. Yeah.
if anything.
I feel like if you guys are also playing with a big like a big headliner, that's pretty ideal too, because that's when people start showing up for them.
Right, exactly.
Do you guys ever have people that you've never met them in your life, and they like, of course you have people like, oh, good set, but do you guys have the local critics that just like to, hey man, that was a cool set, but you know, that tone, like, what the fuck?
Occasionally, yeah. There's
the
been a
worst
couple
feeling.
people that have just, man, what was the one? There was one guy that said something to Ken a while back.
I can't remember that one.
Oh no, wait, there was the singer guy.
Yeah, so there's been two. One was our second show. After we played, this girl came up and she was like, "Hey, you should try to do this." And like I wasn't even paying attention really, so it didn't phase me at all. And then later the next day, I was like, I should have been like, "Well, then you do it." but
That would have been a cool thing to say.
but then there was a different show that we got off and everything, and the next band was going up. I don't even remember their name. But the dude, their singer, he was like, "Yeah, then that was pretty sick. Come check this out." And then like their first song just sounded like shit, dude. like he was so egotistical. He's like, "Yeah, you guys were all right, but check this out." And it was just like,
Yeah, it was like the worst way. It was the worst way of going about it. He was like, "You did really good, but just wait till I get on stage."
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah,
So
like
yeah.
full on
To
cocky
you guys?
attitude.
yeah, to me, yeah,
To
to
him,
my,
yeah.
Wow.
Like it's cool that it was to my face
like,
and
all right,
shit,
guy.
but it was embarrassing for him.
I'm sorry. Are we playing the same venue right now? Like what
Literally.
The fuck? Like, what do you? Oh, I got to do this, and then I'm going to the marquee to headline after this. This is my warm up. Like what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
See, I'm
Yeah, it was
glad.
the funniest shit. We were like,
I'm glad there's not like a venue for just. We got 5 podcasts to listen to. It's like, hey, what are you, sports podcast? All right, come on, Christian, let's show us how we go. All right, guys, our dicks, let's go. Like
It's just like college freshman humor.
yeah,
That's what we're all about.
that's so crazy. But I always wonder too. It's just like I love local shows because like there's so much chemistry. At least like everyone always says like it's cool to hear like people like I've heard the term like festival local shows where it's like you kind of have a little bit of everything. And while I do listen to a little bit of everything, I feel like in those particular circumstances, it's always nice to have the same genre. I'll never remember the name, but we went to go see Idols. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh my God.
And like Love Idols. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that band. Just
Not
a cool punk band from the UK. They were playing at the Van Buren, and they had 2 openers. One I think we missed, and then the second one was like this like wannabe reggae death grips.
It was like glitch rap. Like
you gotta tell him about that.
it was fucking gnarly though. Like there was one dude who had like a synth, and then he had like this weird light bulb, and then another dude who was just like I don't even know what he was saying.
Again,
dude.
like
It
he would
was-
just be screaming, then he'd just be like "Braking ting da ding," just like fucking just start doing some like rude boy.
He was
kinda
getting
stuff.
mad. He was getting mad at the crowd too. Like 'cause
Really?
nobody understood it. Like everybody was just
He's
like,
like, you guys don't get this?
That's what I'm saying though. Is that like so? Like the genre itself was it's punk
Just
music.
didn't
It's
fit
it's
at
just
all.
classic British punk music.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah, dude, it was polar opposites. Like
And so maybe
Yeah,
in
it's
the right
ridiculous.
circumstances, maybe you could kind of be like, okay, but like nobody was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's why like my fear is that like my fear persona like to you guys is like I want to get that out of the way when we're doing like, the pub rock or Rebel Lounge where people are like, that's not my thing. But like I just imagine like, can you imagine if we're like we get to do a show at like the Van Buren. We get to have like 500 plus people watch us, and then you play your first song, and everyone's just kind of like,
yeah, dude.
like
There was a couple. It was funny because there was like a couple like huge white guys with like the dreadlocks and stuff like that, and those guys were kind of like the whole time. But it was just those guys. It was like you could see like a couple of heads bobbing like around the crowd, and it was a packed show. Like there was
Yeah.
a lot of people there.
thousands of people.
They were
there
just
for sure.
stoned enough to get it.
Yeah,
Just
I
like,
guess like some people were just vibing. Also, remember the light? Oh, that was another thing. Their volume was like way too fucking loud, like to the point where it was like I wanted to leave. 'cause
It
they all-
sounded like the sound system in like a 2001 Ultima, but the Ultima's like made of plastic and duct tape. You know what I mean?
Dude, and then the synth guy was doing like a lot of screechy shit, like really like just grady, like this does not sound good, like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. And then he had
Yeah,
this
that's
like
rough.
he had this light above him, and like when he would do that shit, it would be like pff, like blind everybody.
Yeah, dude, it was like.
It was exhausting to listen to, man. But
So like, have you guys? I mean, other than like, so the guy that you're talking about when he's like, yeah, watch this. Was it the same like genre? Was it metal music?
It was, yeah.
I would call it more like a grindcore thrash type of thing, like
Yeah.
where we're more closer to metalcore. So like they're within the same umbrella of like metal,
Sure.
but their genres apart.
to a normie, they would sound the same. But
Yeah.
Can I?
We
be
have had
fans,
that
no.
issue before, though. Like we've had that issue at a few shows or a few people trying to book us for shows, and like most of the time, the problem is the venue won't tell us. Like certain venues won't tell us what bands are on the ticket until like we agree to play the show, and then like a few weeks later they write the bill and everything, and they're like, "Oh, you're playing with these guys." There was one time we played a show that there was like an acoustic act opening, like just a single person playing acoustic, and then it like went to like some weird indie punk thing as the next set, and then like it just kept like each band or each performance was a completely different genre.
Right.
Basically, like I almost expected somebody to come up and like freestyle rap for a minute.
I thought we were gonna have like a country guy. Like,
It was-
like,
That's
cowboy
it
hat.
was
so
so
wild.
weird.
That's wild because like again, like with music especially, like you're going for a specific vibe.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like, and I'm not looking to like, crowd kill people, but also like,
I
I
am.
I'm too old now. I'm the guy with the PBR in the back and I just kind of like do this. You know what I mean? Like
I've
I'm
been
not
that guy for a while.
But like I said, like, you slam 4, 5, 6 beers and then like all of a sudden someone's just like, let's do some freehand, like some fucking spoken poetry shit. It's like, what? Like it's like I just got back from Normandy Beach and now like I'm going to a fucking Wiggles concert. Like what the fuck?
And it's the weirdest thing because like that same venue has tried to hit us up after that and like, hey, we have a spot open for a show in like a month. You guys want to be on it? And we're like, sure, but can we know what bands are on the bill before we say yes? Just because we want to play with bands that are at least in the similar like genre. Like we don't care if they're good or bad, but like why should we be playing with an acoustic act and like a few other things when we're pretty much a heavy metal band?
Right.
Like it doesn't make sense
Yeah, it
for
just
the
feels like a talent show
20,
at that
30
point.
people we
Right,
bring to the
yeah.
Make
show.
it make sense.
Right. It makes you feel like, yeah, there's like a prize or something after that. It's like, clap the loudest for this band if you think they should win. It's like, yeah, it feels like a weird talent show.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing, but like venues like that, they'll still refuse to like tell you what bands are on the ticket or anything like that until after you agree to play. It's like
I wonder why they do that. That
for
is so-
ticket
So
sales.
yeah, I actually got some insight today because I was recording vocals today, and our producer, I was talking to him about that because we were talking about a different artist that we actually played a show with, and he had their sticker on his like control center. I was like, yo, do you work with that guy? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, we played a show with him. He's really cool. And either way, the reason why certain venues do that, where they'll hit up, they're just hitting up a bunch of bands, and whoever hits up back first is gonna be on that bill because they're just looking, if they can sell 10 tickets at $10, then that's $100 extra in their pocket, and they don't really care about like making it make sense because it's not necessarily like their main show.
Right.
It's not in their
They're trying to put on as many shows as possible and make their money.
it's a numbers
And
game.
they also keep on record what bands have played there in the past that have sold a lot of tickets. So if they have like 5, 6 bands that are trying to play a show at said venue and they need like 3 or 4 more bands and they know that those other guys haven't sold a lot of tickets before there or haven't played there, they'll hit up all the bands that have sold tickets and try and just get them on the show regardless of genre.
Ugh, it feels so nasty. Like it's just
It's
like
just
it feels,
lazy,
dude.
It
It's
feels,
booty.
yeah. I mean, it feels like business 101. Like it feels like it's the correct thing to do. It just feels weird for the performers.
And that's like the negative side of it. But the positive side of it is when we get to play shows with bands that, like, we've gotten to know a bunch of good bands in the Valley that we like playing with. And we'll all throw shows together all the time. That's why we have been playing so many shows recently, is because we have enough bands like in our repertoire of people we would play with to say like, hey, let's put on a show here. You guys can invite a band or two. We'll bring a band or two on the ticket. And that's the best experience we have with shows.
Yeah, and that's the best part of the local scene right now is that we're trying to form the local scene back into like a sense of camaraderie of like we're all homies here. We're all trying to do the same thing. Let's make it the best that we can, and all the other stuff can just be there. Like it can be off to the side, but like we're gonna do what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because like if you guys like roll together, then people are gonna know that you guys always perform together, and people are gonna want to go to those shows more often. That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that only exists with like music though. It's like fucking no, seriously, like local comedians will eat you alive. They don't give a shit. Like like the 5 minutes that you have on stage is so much more important if I do it. Like that is like just the way that everyone thinks in that group, We don't have we have the Scaredy Cast, which is another podcast that I'm close with, and I help produce that show. It's like I have them as friends, but like I don't know like any other people who do like what we do. But we're not doing live shows, so it's like we don't have prime slots on TV. This just goes on YouTube, so it's like I don't know what that feels like, but like that's great. Like that's super awesome, because like I am always there to help people when need be. But like yeah, it's so weird that you still have people, and it's so funny. The guy that was like being a prick about it. You said that he was like a grindcore thing. I was like, those guys, dude. No, dude. Just like fucking. I call it like just dirty Florida boy rappers. You know what I mean? Like want to be like Ghostmaids and Suicide Boys. Like and like grindcore dudes are just the most gatekeeping. Like I've been like every grindcore guy I've ever met in my entire fucking life has the bio in their Instagram grinding since XX05 or XX09, and it's like the most pretentious. Those are the dudes that have like the fucking like the
worst,
three
bro.
X's on the, you know what I mean? And it's just like yeah, and they always have the craziest names.
Oh yeah.
Like I think I saw this guy. I don't want to start bad shit. Like,
Do
I
it.
No, I don't
Do
even
it.
know this. I don't even know if he's like local or anything. But like I was just like he's like a solo grindcore guy, and his name is Cemetery Rapist.
That's terrible.
That is the worst. What's his-
But again, in his bio, grinding since 01. Your local promoter won't ever book me. Like that's what the shit he says. Like, on it, like, and it'll just be Instagram reels of him just like doing like the kind of music, you know. And it's just like y'all ain't shit. Like you know, it's just me out here on my own. It's like, dude, who are you fighting with right now?
Those
Himself.
guys are in the same boat as like there's like the Cali guys that are like they always are like pretty good looking guys, have a guitar, can barely play it, and they only have a drummer, and they just get on stage and act a fool, like full on like sad boy stuff, and people eat that shit up for no
John Mayer?
reason.
Very popular. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm just saying though, it's popular. It's just it's the sad boy nation right now. You know.
But we the real ones. We've been doing it since XX.
There's a no, dude. There's a band. I don't even know their name, but like they've got thousands of followers now, and their whole thing is like every other TikTok they post is them just literally covering "After Dark" by Mr. Kitty. But they all dress like new wave like Depeche Mode dudes.
Jeez.
I'm
and
kind of
pe-
glad
and-
I haven't seen that.
And people just eat it up, and so like it does frustrate like when you guys are trying to like just keep it to a specific scene and stuff like that, because obviously TikTok is just the bane of all existence now since 2020, and so it's like, and you don't want to fucking sell out and like what works, you know, like you want to keep doing what you're doing, but sometimes it does feel like a little stingy because like I look at like these dudes like the like the guys that fucking put on what do they call her like the Gorlock the Destroyer girl.
Yeah.
Like when they like those dudes podcasts, like they got so famous because they just ripped this big girl apart, like in front of a
It's
bunch
called
of
the
that
whatever
one.
podcast.
Yeah.
yeah,
what
and
you're
it's
talking
just
about.
like, and I look at some of these, or I look at like, and I know they've been around forever, but like there's like so many of them, and I'm just like, this sucks, and like it's it's not much different than what we do.
Yeah.
It's just two dudes who want to hear themselves talk. I mean, that's just what this comes down to, and like we have funny
Yeah,
banter.
but we're nice.
We are.
We're nice
That's
to
the
people,
problem.
right? Maybe.
No,
God.
dude, we talk all the time about like once we get that big break, dude. When are we going to become monsters? Like, we literally tried to
Just pure
dissect. We tried
evil.
to we tried to dissect the psychology of it on our last episode of just like when is your pivotal moment of like you just become a full bag of garbage.
I'm a piece of shit now.
Like I think
feel it.
because like you know it's like when the whole thing with like we talked about with Ellen DeGeneres, it's like out of nowhere you're getting all of these reports of her just being the worst to her employees.
Yeah.
And it's like when I was growing up, I remember her having like the Ellen show, and like when Ellen was like a thing.
Such
it's
a
like,
sweetheart of a
yeah,
person on camera.
and then like so
Yeah.
what happens where you just have like that Homelander moment where you're just like I could do whatever I want, I could do, you know, it's just like that's what-
It's when you win your first big lawsuit, then you're just set.
That's probably
I'm
it.
invincible. I can do anything.
yeah.
Like, you know what? Sue me again, please.
That's what I think is just like we just sit here and we're like, man, we would love like little sponsorships and stuff like that. And then you get to the point where you're like, I don't even like that product, dude. But then that product's like, what about for $50,000? And we're like, this episode today, you know, it's like, that's just
fair,
when you
though.
become
Fuck
monsters.
everything else but that.
Right.
I mean, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So
That's what we're all doing. I mean, we're all
That's the
trying
hard
to
part,
do.
yeah.
yeah,
None of us want a real job. That's what it comes down
fuck
to.
no.
And like kudos to you guys for dude, I was in high school. I was a 17-year-old conscious kid and I was like, I'm gonna be a fucking rock star. Like fuck a school, fuck a job, like fuck all this. Like I'm gonna be fucking with my skinny jeans and my long hair. I'm gonna be out there. We played the Nile a couple times. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like you can't stop. Like that's like the thing too. You know, and like we're finally getting a little bit of like not recognition, but like just like I've had people be like, oh hey, I listened to your show. Awesome. I'm sure it's a great feeling for you guys too. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, I seen you guys. Like,
It's
oh.
so hard to gain traction, though. You know what I mean?
we've
Like,
been
it's
starting to
such
pick
a
it up.
grind.
I've been noticing on our social medias a lot of people more interactive. Because I think I don't remember if it was when we started this or if before we started this, but you said like you saw that how we've been posting a lot more, and really we've been seeing a lot more interaction on those, and even on posts that we haven't made. There was a show that we're doing in October, and they announced that we're gonna be on this show, and a couple people were like, "That's so fucking sick! I'm so hyped! No fucking wait!" And I'm just like, "Dude, that's sick."
They all just sound like Tony
That's
Danza
a
to you in
win.
your head. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool! Hey, doing a show.
Another day's
exactly.
demons.
Hey, another fucking day's demons.
So it's gonna be like when we go to Philly or something.
Oh fuck yeah!
Is there a particular place you guys have always wanted to go to perform? I mean, this could be an individual answer.
Anywhere but Arizona, because it's hot as fuck here, dude.
Well, we're done. Yeah, we're sick of it, man.
I want to go to Germany.
Hell yeah.
I want to play in Germany.
That'd be
That'd
cool.
be sick.
That'd be cool. What about you? What's a place?
I
for
didn't
you?
know we were going outside of the city.
You wherever you want. You can say
Wherever you
fucking
want. You can play Antarctica.
Dude, I want
Yeah.
to play Brazil.
Okay.
Brazil,
They
like,
get down over there, dude.
yeah, their fans are crazy out there. Like, especially for metalcore, all that shit. They go wild.
I'm just trying to start a riot.
I remember seeing. Did you guys ever see the Flight 666 Iron Maiden documentary?
Fuck no, I haven't.
So they do a big thing on Barcelona because, like, you know, it's so funny.
Barcelona's sick.
they do like it's so funny how because I mean we're Americans, like you don't think about like what influence bands here have over there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I always think about how like the people of Mexico City just worship Morrissey. You know what I mean? It's a fucking British twink. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sad music, and these beautiful abuelas are just like crying and making flower crowns. But like, there's like this scene where they go to like Barcelona and they interview this priest. He's a priest, and he like takes off like they're like talking. He's like normal dude. He's got like you can see a little bit of hand tattoos, you know. And they're like, oh, well, like they like take off the shirt. He takes off the shirt. He's got every version of Eddie from Iron Maiden, like all over. He's got Iron Maiden across his back. He's got the fucking like Power Slave fucking leg sleeve.
so sick.
It's like, dude, like it's just so cool to think like if you're there, like if you fly all the way over there and you have some fucking kid who's just like, I hope one day that fucking, and they know that you're from Phoenix, Arizona. Like they know they've never heard of
Yeah,
Phoenix,
they're gonna
Arizona.
fucking tell the whole
Right.
city.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like that's a cool feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's hard for us to relate to that because like that doesn't exist for like podcasts. Like we're not, I mean, there's tours and stuff like that, but they're usually comedians that do it.
Yeah.
I don't ever imagine us doing like a Dweller
Touring
tour.
podcast.
You know?
That'd be cool as fuck.
Dwellers out of Tokyo.
I just feel
do it.
bad because like our fans, like your guys' fans will be like, oh, that one song when you say this, like, oh, dude, I got this tattooed right here. I feel like if we're like at lunch casually and there's just some dude that looks like me, some fat guy, and he's just like, dude, he's like, dude, when you were talking about that one time, you guys were talking about furry porn, that was so fucking funny, dude. It's like all loud. It's like we're just trying to have lunch. You know what I mean?
You're just like, yeah.
It's like that doesn't exist. So I love talking to bands because I'm like, well, I wonder what that's like for praise like that, and not because you're just a self-deprecating asshole.
I mean, you could always just pimp out an RV, do like a fucking
That's what
touring
he
podcast.
said.
We have that, or I have
That would
that
be
idea.
cool, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just had like a lab
Yeah,
production studio on wheels, dude. That'd be sick.
yeah,
A
dude.
lab like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Kind of like a bang bus
Do a
kind
little
of
bit
thing.
of that, you know. We're on it.
Those guys are making. Have you seen those TikToks of the bang bus dudes? Those
No,
dudes that drive around. You guys familiar?
it's a
with
bus
these guys?
now.
Yeah,
Well, it's,
I
it's,
know
a,
what
van, it's a van.
yeah.
It's a van. But like, yeah, like I don't know how real it is, but like I always like see like them like post like some 21-year-old kid, and they're like, "Oh, are you guys the?" They're like, "Yeah, come on in." And it's like, go to our website. I was like, did they just find a kid and let him just fuck?
No,
Somebody-
I'm
It has to be
90% sure.
staged.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on. And this is why I ask, because given the opportunity, would you do it? Gentlemen? If you're just walking down, if you're just walking down Venice Beach, right? Now, every video I've ever seen of this scenario happening, it's the kid that approaches. So he's like, "Oh, you guys look like the, you know, whatever." He's like, "Yeah, you want to check out the van?" They open the van. There's a fucking smoking hot chick in there. You know what I mean? And like, "Yeah, why don't you come in?" And then it's like, do you take that invitation? We all
That I
say
feel like you
we all
couldn't
say
say
it's
no
not real.
to.
We
That's
all
like
say
the
it's
grace
not
of
real,
God.
but like if it was real, would you do it?
See, I think the if I go back to my contract of like what it takes to be a rock star, I think we're obligated at that point to say yeah, like yeah, of course. 'Cause
Would you make your band t-shirts just another day's demon? I was on the bang bus.
I
That would be fucking
survived.
great.
That'd be
I
sweet if
survived
it's
the
just
bang
like
bus,
if it's
has
just like
stickers.
it's just a picture of you with the chick, but like they blur out your dick, but you're just all. and it says another day's demons on it. I'd buy that shirt. That's a dope ass shirt. Would you do it, Christian?
No,
No.
no.
Well, oh yeah. Why not? Why not?
I just don't feel like I'm ever camera ready down there. You know?
It's like swampy or what?
No, I just I haven't had a girlfriend in a while, so it's just kind of
You don't just take care of it. TLC.
it's chilling.
Yeah, you owe yourself a spa day then.
I guess it's not.
It might
it's
happen.
not dirty. It's just if I'm walking around the
Mud
city
bath?
and some dudes in a van pop up and they're like, "Hey man, you want to be in a porn?" I'm gonna be like, "No."
Yeah, I
do
mean,
I have
fair
a
enough.
Do I have a makeup artist? Like,
But
do I have
remember,
someone-
you asked what it was first.
Yeah,
so that's the context.
So you're the one that's like, oh, I know all you guys. Even if it's like just.
Oh,
like,
I'd still be like, no.
Me, I couldn't.
No.
I wouldn't say that it's my.
No, I'm better than you.
I'd be like, can I ride? That'd be cool to watch.
They're like, yeah, you can ride. Come on in. Like, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I do that. I don't want to.
Oh,
I don't want to.
Well, that's the ride.
Porn.
I just-
Oh no.
yeah, that's the ride.
Yeah, no. I'd be if that happened to me on the truck, like real time. They're just like, no, this is the. I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta get out
It's
of here.
happening.
I think for
Just
me,
pull me to go to a Barnes and Noble or a Starbucks or something. Like, just leave me there.
like for me, what it comes down to is that if I know this is going to be on camera, that's what stops me.
Fair.
I feel like there's something about like if
I'd
I
be
don't
a
know,
little anxious about that.
I feel
I'm
like
not gonna lie.
everyone here has an imaginary scenario in their head that's the hottest thing on the fucking planet that will never fucking happen. But if it did, like you're like yes, without hesitation, right? Some people it's like the college professor. Some people it's like the MILF next door. It's like, is this mine? No. But if it was just like, hey, you want to get down like this, like she gets down, and I was like, is it gonna be on the internet? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah. All right, let's get done.
See, that's different. If it's not going to be on the internet, it's different.
What if it's on the internet, but they'll give you 35% of the profits that they make? From it?
Oh, see, now you're talking money.
That's some good stuff
Yeah,
right
money,
there.
money.
I'm a slut for money. Dude.
How about this?
I'd want the money more than I want the chick.
How about this? We'll start with you. We'll start with you,
Like,
Mike.
really, for a 5-second video? Come on.
What if you do it, and then you're still in the band, but now you're getting your recognition because you're like, are you the dude that fucked that chick in the van? Dude, your piece is fucking crazy. We have this
I
thing.
feel like I accomplished everything I need to in the world if that's the case.
But my question is that if someone was like, hey, it's Jacob from Brazzers. We saw your video, and we want to know if we can sign you a contract for 15 movies, but you got to do it right now. Are you leaving? Are you leaving the band?
He gets the phone call. Hey, nice cock.
Yeah.
Sir, your dick is immaculate, and I need it in my movies.
I'd be like, hey, boys, listen, I'm going to need to take a hiatus.
All right. Would you
But
let
I'll
him?
come back
Would you
with
be like,
money,
that's
I
cool?
promise.
I'm like, hey, bro, you don't got it like that. Like, come play bass.
You're just
Told me I'm hung,
you're gonna gaslight him into staying. Hey, dude, they're lying to you, bro. Like, yeah, definitely, that's not
I'd be
true.
like, you're right.
But look, I need you more than you need that.
What about you? You staying?
No, I don't think I'd actually be like, not my thing.
Not your
Like,
thing?
truthfully, like, I'd probably be too anxious for anything like that to approach anything. If anyone approached me, fuck no. Like, I'd be like, bro, I'm just trying to make music.
function.
Just trying.
But hypothetically,
Yeah, it's hypothetical.
No, I don't. If I got that phone call, I would be like, this wasn't the type of movie I was trying to get into, man. Like, I was trying to be in a Marvel
$20
movie.
million contract.
Yeah, no,
for 10 movies.
They'd hang up the phone right now. Yeah, they would
y'all
definitely.
got the wrong dude.
You got the wrong dude on this one. I feel, see, like my fear is that I would be like, I'd be like I don't know if you guys watch football at all? You guys like big football
Not
fans?
Not too
No.
much.
Okay.
No.
So there was this guy named Johnny Manziel. He was a college football player, and he was like a prodigy. He was like the quarterback, like everyone wanted.
I've heard the name before.
So they called him Johnny Football because the guy was just pretentious and like he was good. Like he knew he was good, right? Gets signed. There's a joke that there's the curse because he got signed to the Browns, which is notoriously one of the worst fucking football teams like in history. But every time someone gets signed there, they just become total dog shit. So he literally in his first season was just like a one pump chump, like just could not deliver. That's what I would be afraid of. If someone called me and was like, "Hey, we saw your work. You did really good. Like, we'll sign you on." I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" I'd get to the set day one. They'd be like, "Dude, you got to get that thing up, or you're out of here."
Bro.
And I'm like,
slap it around or something. Like,
Yeah, I busted on the way in, dude. I had
like,
a big bust last night.
I feel like like
Why do
nothing.
you betray me?
Yeah, I feel like and like the whole production crew's watching. I'm just like,
Just give me 5 seconds.
But then they sell that tape, just like little dick loser can't get hard. Like, and that's my legacy. You know what I mean?
At least you got a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people die out here no name.
I would rather not have a legacy.
Mike's out here saying, "I would rather die standing than live kneeling."
I mean,
Well, I'm glad that was a test. So I'm glad to see that you guys are not going to quit the band for pursuits like that. Good for you. I would leave him in a heartbeat. If
We would fist fight over who got to go.
100%. If in my imaginary scenario, Joe Rogan says, "Hey man, I think you're really funny. Do you want to be my co-host?" I'd be like, "Christian who?" Like I would be like, "Peace out for the fucking basement dweller. Bye. Take the name." I wouldn't do that. I might do that. I don't know. Would you do that? Would you leave me?
I would. I think you would leave me. First of all,
I would leave you. Yeah.
For Joe Rogan, I think
And
you would
then
100%
his
leave
evil
me.
moment starts.
Yeah, and then I take the name
Hill and Arc.
and then I build it out of spite. Yeah, and it's just gonna be like the anti-Jacob podcast. And yeah, no, I'd figure it out.
It'd
I
turn
feel
into
like-
like Mad TV.
You just have every time you have a guest on, you have them come wearing my clothes, and then you put like a fake mustache
It would
on
just
them.
be like a super schizo podcast. It'd be like sock puppets, just like, I know I'm leaving the bed because I'm a retard.
That's fucking great.
yeah, we're
Dude,
so
I'd lose it. I'd break a little bit for sure.
we're so emotionally invested. I don't know about you guys, but if the other one left, we would just go into psychosis.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But it's glad to know you guys have such a niche group. Is it kind of like when you guys meet up and like how often do you guys do band practice?
Depends on the week, because like if we have a show coming up, we'll meet like 2-3 times a week.
Oh, that's
or if
great.
we're trying to write more, we'll meet 2-3 times a week. But usually it works out to like 1 to 2 days a week, if that.
2 or 3 times. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's
The
it's
times
a
where
lot.
we get yeah, it is a lot.
We get fed up, but we do it.
The times where we get the biggest break is typically when we're playing shows like back to back to back to back. We're like, we don't need to meet up for this. Like, fuck
Yeah,
off,
fair
guys.
enough.
Let's go play some video games. Like, touch some grass. Fuck it. Like,
Are you
we're
guys
gonna-
kind of in like the same area? Like, do you guys kind of all throughout live like through Phoenix? Like, who's the farthest?
I am now.
I would say we're all probably like 25 minutes away from where our studio is. So our studio is like dead center of where we all have to drive to,
for the
thankfully.
most
That
part,
kind of works
yeah.
out.
Is it Francisco Studios?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a couple locations. We don't need to describe which one it is, but yeah.
Don't come find me.
I keep
It's not the one with the fucking hookers next door.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was mine. That used to be mine. Okay, so I'm glad. Yeah. No, I tried to get do like podcasting there, and it just doesn't work. Even he was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Like because you guys know how the rooms they all look the same. They're all just big rooms.
Yeah.
and that's it. But I remember I tried doing a couple episodes, and like every episode that's on there, like every now and again, I'm like having like a real like. So when you were like 7, like what did that feel like when you're and you just hear like
Yeah. the
like
run-
behind, just like some dude drumming.
some random bass player just.
Yeah, like it just doesn't fucking work. Like that's pretty impressive though that you guys still do that. I feel like for me, everything comes back to like I always say like how like do you plan better than adults play D&D? Like the joke always is like we always have like these nostalgic dudes who are always just like yeah I want to play D&D, but then someone always can't meet up. I'm sick. I gotta work. Like we'll try again next month. Next month I can't. Like my kid's sick. Like
Yeah, no, we get on each other's asses about
you
that.
got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely have to.
It's the only way.
Yeah. They say you gotta gaslight them until they.
Yep.
I mean, it's fucking 4-on-1 when somebody says they
Oh,
can't
for
show
sure.
up.
Oh my god. Can you imagine
Always
4
cycles
of
through the
us?
group.
4 of us on the podcast?
No, just can you imagine if it was if our group chat was 4 people on the podcast, it was a 4-on-1 fucking man pile if someone couldn't make it.
Oh, that would suck.
It's rough, dude.
Yeah, we'd be in jail for sure. There are sometimes me and Christian want to fist fight each other over the dumbest fucking shit. I don't even know how you guys do it.
Yeah, no, dude, we just gang up on him. Like, you got to fucking work, pussy?
I mean, we've also known, most of us have known each other for,
A long while.
Like,
High school friends?
dude,
I've
I've
known
known
him
him
since,
middle school,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
roughly.
I want to say like 13 years
And
now.
it's more than that. It has to be, dude.
Ain't no way.
Dude, it was like 15 years, like 3 years ago or some shit.
Nah.
I don't know. I can't count.
I don't know. I kept trying to get rid of this guy, and now we're on a fucking podcast together. I've known this guy since the 8th grade. Jesus Christ.
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he ain't going fucking nowhere.
Nah.
That's what I said. You got, especially because you guys have that friend rapport. You have to hold each other accountable because I feel like you guys are good enough friends to know, like, if like shit's really hitting the fan, I'm like, I cannot make it. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you can also kind of read bullshit where you're like, dude, get the fucking practice. Like,
Yeah.
don't,
Luckily, we don't have to deal with anyone making bullshit excuses. Mostly, it's
For
just
the
like,
most part, yeah.
yeah.
We're pretty solid about what we know needs to happen.
I feel like all of you just need to have the same exact goal. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
that's the secret, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just have one dude who's like, I just like to jam with my friends. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do
And that's
that.
the main idea. Like, we'll take a decent musician in our band that wants the same goal that we have over somebody that's just immaculately good that could give a fuck less. Like, that's not the way to do it.
Support the show. Patreon.com/basementdwellerproductions. Thank you all so much for the support. And now more of the Basement Dwellers.
That's all your band was.
Yeah.
Your band was like everyone just thought they were the star of the show and like fucking didn't give a shit. Or some people just didn't go to practice because they didn't think they needed to. Or yeah, dude.
That's how a lot of bands fall out. Is like people just care less, and then it just doesn't
or
work
drugs.
out.
Now they
Or drugs, yeah.
now they all
It's
hate
usually
one
when
guy.
you're rich, right?
They all hate one fucking dude. I mean, but you're keeping it, you're holding it down. You know what I mean? That's what
No,
you
we're doing
absolutely
good.
have to do.
Yeah.
And my thing is that it is hard. Like I don't know if I can do that band dynamic again. Like it's just because my own emotions just get in the way where I'm just like, oh, fuck you guys. Then you know what? Fuck you. I'm done. Like all because I want to just sit home and play fucking the same video games I've been playing for 12 years. Why do band practice when I can just play Borderlands 2 again for the 50,000th time?
That's a good one, though.
No, he gets mad when I do that.
I don't get mad. I'm just like, damn, dude, you're still playing this game.
Sick invite.
Well, because Christian just has all these like good there's something I don't know about you guys. You guys have been friends for a long time, so let me actually ask you this. I love when we have long time friends on because it feels like couples therapy.
Yeah, you guys have been friends for about as long as me and Jacob have, or
Right.
maybe like
Or
we're
even
a little older. Because
right.
me and him met when we were like 13, 14?
13, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been friends for a while. We've been best friends since like senior year. But
Right.
yeah, so what were you saying? Sorry.
But friends regardless, you know, and it's like my thing is like I always feel bad. I don't know how you guys are, but like do one of you guys ever watch a TV show and you're like, dude, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. And then they're like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. You never fucking do. You never do. And it's like, whatever. Oh my God, you gotta watch this. I will. Never watch it. 5 years later, he's like, dude, you know what I just started watching, which fucking kicks ass? And then you're like, are you fucking kidding me? That's him with like everything. It's like he tries so hard to get me into playing things,
This
like watching
guy
things.
put off Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
he got into it like at the last season. I was like, come on,
I'm
man.
kind of that guy, honestly.
So there's me and him telling our drummer Kent to watch like anime, and he's like, yeah, dude, after I finish Dragon Ball Z or Naruto again, and he's watched them like 10 times, which don't get me wrong, I repeat shows all the time too. And then it's other times where he's just like, yeah, man, I'll watch that. And then I'm like, dude, like, no, like, right the fuck now.
Yeah.
Like, we were on tour recently, like a quick little mini tour tryout thing. And I was telling him about I was like, have you watched the newest episode? What
That's
fucking anime
Rain.
was that?
Oh shit, that is Rain.
Holy shit.
Oh, about time.
I have no idea what show.
It was, I don't know. We were watching the anime, and I was like, you got to watch the next episode right the fuck now. Get caught up. Like, and he's
Oh,
like,
it was fucking, wasn't it Demon Slayer or something?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was Demon Slayer.
Okay.
And I made him plug in his laptop, and he
You're like,
he,
no,
like,
fucking
he-
load it.
Oh,
Load it up.
so you gun pointed
Yeah,
at him.
and then I went to bed. and went to
See,
bed.
and that's what I feel horrible about because I do that. I feel so hypocritical because he's so patient. And he's like, you'll watch it when you want, but like I will be like, we're gonna watch this right now. And then I do that thing that every like boyfriend or girlfriend does when they show them something, like every 5 seconds you're like,
Can you see that?
yeah. Or like you lean over and you're like, did you know that in this scene? It's like the Lord of the
I do
Rings
that
thing. Like,
shit.
yeah,
I
like
do
with the
that shit.
I'm the
helmet.
fucking worst
The
person.
helmet.
with
Right,
that.
yeah.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, that. So it's like I don't know. That's just at one point your super close friend just becomes again like just like you're in a relationship. It's so funny like the little things that you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps you sane though. I feel like it just
My
That's
girlfriend
it.
gets that a lot.
I feel like it kind of
Keeps the
tweaks me out a little
friendship
bit.
going.
kind of ruins every
I've
relationship
been
I'll
trying to
ever
get
have
him
after.
to finish Attack on Titan. Hasn't done that. What else?
No,
So many things.
so many things. A
But
lot
see,
of-
the thing is like when he finally watches it, he loves it. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's like one of his favorite animes is My Hero Academia. And
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's great.
really
And
good
I put him on that, and it took me like a year to convince him to watch it, and now it's like the only anime he watches.
See, so my thing, I will wait. Like, if a new show is like popping off or a new season is popping off and people are like, this shit's badass, the best season ever, I'll wait until the season's like completely out before I even touch it or try to watch it because I like binge watching shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Like the
fair.
Attack on Titan, I watched the first half of their like final season thing. I haven't looked at it since. And
That's
I know
fair.
they have a shit ton of episodes out now.
Yeah, I think
but,
they have like a movie coming out now to like finally wrap it up. Or
yeah, I'll
something.
probably peep it in like another half year.
Yeah.
That's
But I
fair
love it,
though.
though.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because you go pretty insane, like when you keep up with a show. Like for example, like I'm watching Winning Time on HBO right now. Are you familiar? Just about like the life of Magic Johnson. It's like a recreation of this like 1970s and 80s basketball, and it's a phenomenal show. And they're doing season 2 right now, but I messed up, and I started watching episodes as they come out. So now it's like you almost feel like a crazy person because you just sit there and like refresh like every Sunday
no, I
at
hate
midnight.
that.
And you're just
Like,
waiting.
I
for
ran
it
out
to
of
fuck-
shit to watch.
Yeah, you fucking start jonesing like crazy. You know what
And
I
then
mean?
I get confused because I watched like 5 other shows waiting for that episode to come out. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what was happening.
Do you feel that way about music that you guys write? Like, do you feel like you can't rest until it's completed? Or do you feel like you have a pretty good like relationship with like, okay, guitar track's done, drums done? Or is it like, will you guys just like go meth mode and like just try to collab a song? And like, oh, we're staying late tonight because we got to get this done.
I feel like when we do that is when we don't complete anything.
Really?
Or I feel like that's what sets it back further because like, say we have like a really cool idea and we're like halfway through a song or some shit. We have like guitars and we have drums sorted out. We're sorting out some vocals or whatever, but there's like certain parts of the song that we don't have completed. If we like get to like a standstill and try and just like bust it out, see if we can figure it out, more often than not, it doesn't really happen, or it'll happen and we'll come back to it a week later and be like, no, scratch every last thing we did with that.
Yeah, because you guys are like forcing at that point, you know?
Essentially, yeah. And that's what makes it difficult because we have like, it makes it difficult to go back to certain songs because we'll put stuff on the back burner and be like, oh, we'll finish this one later. Then we're like 5 more songs down the line and we complete this one and we're like, well, we have all of these.
So that's our problem is that we both, I mean, Christian's an artist and I just have insane OCD. So like for me, it's a perfectionism kind of thing. Like, and that's why I always told him when it comes to painting the miniatures, like I always made the joke of like, I'll be the financer. I just want you to paint them.
Yeah.
He has a background in art. It's phenomenal. He does a great job, you know, and I'm proud of mine too, you know, but my whole thing is that if I like, because I got shaky hands. So if I'm here and I'm like, make a little scuff, I want to throw it against the wall. Like I want to give up the whole project. I don't
That's
care.
why I don't even attempt.
I could fix it. I could repaint it, but I'd rather be, you know, fuck it. I'm so mad. I'm just going to buy a whole new, I'm going to waste $50 more. Like, fuck this. And that's how I felt like, and so I'm always curious to know, I always like to ask my musical friends, like, what is your writing process? Because I've heard everything. I've heard like, we do guitars first, then bass, and then we'll try to write lyrics on top of that. Then we go drums. I've heard, you know, we do lyrics. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm always curious to know. And then I have heard people that say, we don't leave until we finish the song.
Right.
So I'm
And
always
sometimes
curious.
that dynamic works, you know?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite song that you guys have completed together? Where you're that's if we were gonna go,
We each have our own favorite.
Okay. Now, okay, if I were to ask, this is the challenging one, then maybe I know you can't speak on behalf of the entire band, but if you two had to say, like, what is the encore song? Like, what is the song that like you guys are playing a big venue, you guys leave and they're like, yeah, one more. You come back and you do the encore song. What is it?
Probably End It All, I would think.
For me, it's actually the one that we just finished wrapping up with today. That no one's heard anything about. So that for me, that's like our new like, yeah, this one's gonna make you shit yourself.
Damn, this is gonna be a cool Easter egg episode. I hope 5 years from now, some kids like, I just heard that song. I was at Marquee and I fucking heard that song.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, check out this fucking podcast that we're talking about it.
That's the goal. I just hope some like shitty trust fund kid finds our podcast and then tells all of his shitty trust fund friends, and then, you know, money comes.
Dude, I wish for like, dude, I hate being white and not having white people money.
Because now you're just ghetto like the rest of us. Like this is how it is. We're Fred Durst white. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
We're not Bezos white. I always get sad. Have you guys heard about the conspiracy theory about like, oh, like the famous people that you guys love, it's like their dad is this person, or like all these people that got famous, like their parents are this.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude, my TikTok is lit between the hours of 10 and 5 a.m. It's fucking lit, dude. My TikTok, I know everything from megalodon shit to
aliens being real now.
yeah. Well, I mean, lower the fucking cost of living. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, I know, for real.
Damn.
That's what we were talking about too, is that it's just like, it's so funny because as a kid, imagine if you got that news when you were a child. But now we're like, you know how hard it is to fucking pay rent right now? Like,
So you bring that up, but didn't they tell us with like Men in Black 2?
Yeah.
Like that whole outro where it's like, you know, the Earth is a fucking marble in a fucking
Yeah,
game and
I
some
remember
fucking
that.
solar, like that, like, bro, I don't know. For a
I like how-
while there,
no.
they've been telling us like, yo, aliens are fucking
Dude, when I
real,
first
bro.
saw
Tom
that as a
DeLonge.
kid, I was like, what the fuck?
They've been warming us up for it for a while now,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Past
I like
20
how
years.
also before I made the joke before we started the show, so I know crazy shit, but all it takes is me.
Oh, dude,
to-
I was about to break it when you mentioned
you said
Ellen earlier.
aliens?
I was like, well, Epstein Island probably fucked her up pretty good.
Yeah, man, we were just. Oh, let me ask you this because this was another one I love talking about. All right, blind date. Do you guys have girlfriends?
Yeah, we both
Yeah.
do.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's just say they fucking don't exist. Right? They.
She's not gonna like
They-
that, dude.
yeah, they got-
You better sleep with one eye open.
Let's say alternate reality, right? You guys are just blind date, right? Not blind date, but like you guys are on like a Tinder date, right? And their profile is super basic, you know, but you guys start chatting, you like it, you know, you keep looking like what's up with this one? You're like what is the one thing, right? But you can't tell, right? You go to the date, okay? What is worse? You sit down at the date and she has an ICP tattoo, or she shows up with a foxtail.
ICP. I don't mind the foxtail at
Okay,
all.
hold on. But
I'm kind of in between, bro. I don't know.
so what we're saying is, what's worse to date, a furry or a juggalette?
I mean, I got some really good friends that are juggalettes, but I would date a furry, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah,
Good for
sure.
you. He's out here fighting the good fight.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would date a furry.
My man. Hey, do you want to be on the Basement Dweller again? Because we ripped those two people apart last
We
week.
fucked, yeah.
Yeah, I went to fucking.
Keegan was such a good guy. He's like, I have a couple friends. You know, they're pretty cool. We were just like, hey, yo, fuck.
They're wild. They're fucking wild. Like, they're fucking wild. But yeah, no, the foxtail thing, that ain't too bad.
What if she does like the ooh woo nuzzles to you? Yiffs?
Like, ironically or unironically?
Unironically. Like she's
Like,
got
this
a
is the
persona.
foxtail in public person.
So like okay, the date goes
Yeah.
good. Yeah, like the date goes good, and then you guys, you know, step 2 is getting on the socials. You know what I mean? And her socials like a persona.
Oh,
So-
no.
It's like a drawing.
Yeah.
Dude, if it's a I'm like, bro, go touch some grass.
I take the juggalette. That's what I vote.
I'm kind of with you on that one.
Yeah.
I honestly think I'd take the furry.
Yeah.
I'd rather date a furry than a juggalette.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like hear be like you're watching a TV show. It's late as fuck, and like it's they're asleep, and you just hear it in their sleep. Whoop whoop. Like no,
That's how they sleep.
Babe, you know I only drink Faygo. Like,
dude, I like Faygo.
I've never had it.
It's
It's pretty good.
It's
super
pretty good?
tasty.
Yeah, it's
Never
pretty good.
tried it.
Never had it?
No.
It's like the most sugariest fucking soda.
Oh, it's
ever.
insane! It's unreal. It's definitely one of those ones that you would think would be on a cartoon, like a kid in a cartoon's obsessed with Faygo. Like that's how it tastes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fair.
it's super syrupy.
Having said that, though, without hesitation, and I'll say it again, the Basement Dwellers will do a live show at Gathering of the Juggalos. No problem. You don't have to fucking pay.
Oh,
me.
hell yeah, dude.
You give me a prime like 1:30 to 2:30 slot at the Gathering of the Juggalos on main stage, and I get to do a podcast.
there.
I will be there or be square. Like, would you perform at that? I'd feel like
Fuck yeah.
You gotta come on, dude. Like, yeah,
That's an
of course.
opportunity for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Now, what if you guys were making it? You guys were just fine. You didn't need to do it. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
story?
I would do it just to collab with like because Suicide Silence they were on the fucking Gathering.
Really?
Yeah, Suicide
That I didn't
Silence. There's been a couple of like big name bands that have been part of the that
What
weren't
was
like
the thing that
juggalos.
happened with Slipknot like years and years ago? They were talking mad shit about. I think they were talking mad shit about ICP.
Yeah,
And then they fucking finally got to meet him in person. They were like, no, that was all bullshit to get you guys' attention. We just wanted to meet you. We think you're dope.
controversy. It works.
I think it's not that I would hang out with. What are their names? What are the two guys' names?
I don't fucking know.
Violent J.
Juggalo 1.
And I forget the other dude's name.
Shaggy Two Dope. And
Shaggy Two Dope and Violent J.
I would hang out with them. Yeah, no problem. Like whatever. But it's just like every video. And I used to think that I was just like, they make like a joke about like Tool fans, like you know, it's just like, oh, they're fucking Tool fans. I'm a Tool fan, but I'm not out here just doing big brain math. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like every video I've ever seen, and like I saw this podcast that was really funny that I've actually been wanting to show you. Is like because you know how like when people make like those videos, that's like you always trying to show the worst. It's like the news. You always want to try to show the craziest people.
Yeah.
He's like, we saw this video of a guy live streaming, like Twitch streaming from Gathering. And he's like, every person. There was no edits. There was no nothing. There was a girl just naked talking about the most heinous shit. There was a dude. Immediately, the next guy comes up and just does whippets and like just starts talking about like when he worked at Walmart. Like it's just like
Juggalos are crazy, dude.
It's
They're fucking wild.
It's wild, and they just take care of each other. It's like how it reminds me of like the hardcore scene. It's like all those kids are terrifying, but they all love each other. You know what I mean? Like we see videos of just people getting kicked in the face, and then like they just get up and like, yeah, dude.
It's like, you're my fucking boy.
I got headbutted in a pit recently.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
This sucked, dude. I thought I got a concussion for a second. I was a little worried because we were moshing and I was wearing Toms at this fucking show.
You are keeping it alive. Can we talk for a second? With the most respect possible. My boy's got the fucking bandana. He's got the bites, and now he's saying he was wearing Toms in the year 2023. You are a masterpiece of a person.
Yeah, and so we were doing a pit and someone pushed me and like I did a little.
Show?
It was the one with it was the
one that we played, or
yeah, it was
the pub rock one.
No, not the pub rock one. It was the where the fuck was that place? Oh, Star Lounge,
Starlight
Cafe.
Lounge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the final band was coming on, and we were doing a pit thing, and yeah, I slipped, and this girl, she like was coming at me.
I remember that.
Yeah, and she fucking hit me right with her forehead, and I like kind of went like this, like
She
when
was
I
a
slipped.
small chick, too.
She was straight, just, like just
Dude.
domed
Damn,
me,
steelhead.
and I was
She was
stoned.
fine too. She looked at him and was like,
Yeah, she was.
Dude, 5'3" Latinas, dude, in the pit. They're like
Go
badgers.
wild.
Yeah, they're menacing. Yeah.
She was just completely unfazed. I was like, bro, I need to get out for a second. I need a drink. Like that hurt.
Now, are you in there swinging?
Yeah.
You swing? What about you? Are you the kind of like push and
I
bump?
just slam into people. They hate me.
Do you feel like it's
Like,
because
I'm a
you're
big dude.
I was gonna say, like, do you feel like you're a bigger dude? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's always the bigger dudes that try not to like.
Well, if I throw an elbow at somebody, it's gonna hurt. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like his
I
is
try
gonna hurt
not
too,
to.
though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't be elbowing people. I be doing dumb shit, but most of the time, like when I am swinging, there's just
Do you kind of
open
think
area.
before you swing a little bit?
Yeah.
I also don't have the energy to be doing all that half the time.
I think
I'll get drunk enough to slam into people happily and be in the pit for a while, but like the whole swinging the arms and legs around.
I only do that a little bit. I like
I get
slamming
gassed
into
out.
people, but I've been kicked in the face by people like throwing their kicks around and stuff. So like when I do swing, there's nobody around me. I just do it for myself really quickly and then just go back into pushing people.
Christian will go to jail.
I almost went to jail one fucking time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because it was at Devil Wears Prada. I think it was also at the Marquee. They were like playing like the whole zombie EP and like a couple of throwback songs. It was a pretty cool show. And I went with my friend. It was last year. She took me for my birthday, and like I was trying not to mosh just because like I don't want to do it anymore. You know. At this point, like when I go to those things, I'm kind of like one of the older guys there, so I'm just kind of like I just want to vibe. Like leave me alone. It's one of my favorite bands. And I was like in front of the pit. So I was like, we were towards the front, but the pit was like right behind us. And then some dude like flew into me like from the back. And I ended up like, and then they like push. And then I ended up like flying into the dude in front of me. And I kind of had to like, I like hit him with some force and he like kind of stumbled forward. And then I saw him look back at me. And then he like angled himself to like shoulder check me backwards. And I caught him and I pushed him back again. And I was like, I'm not trying to fight you, bro. And then he like came back again. And did it again, and then I I pushed him even harder, and then bro turned around and tried to like get all up in my face and started chesting up at me, and I kept pushing up, and I was just like, I'm not trying to fight you. I got pushed. I'm not trying to fight you.
Yeah.
But he kept coming at me, and then like I don't know if it was his girlfriend or who, but she like walks up to me and she was like, chill the fuck out, bro. And I'm like, talk to your boy. He's the one facing the wrong fucking way. Like, And then my friend didn't see everything that happened. She just saw me pushing dude. So she was just like, what are you doing? And I was just like, I wasn't doing it. Me. Yeah. No. And then it was the funniest part, dude, was like, dude finally like chilled out and turned around. And then he like looks back over his shoulder and he goes, I was like, I'm about to punch this dude in the back of the head. Like, that was so dumb.
Just gotta grab his dick and twist it.
Real dick twist.
Oh no, and that's the thing is me and Christian are so non-confrontational. It's not please don't do this, like please don't elbow me. It's please don't elbow me because we're both gonna have our night ruined. Like that's how like I mean I don't want to speak on your behalf. I feel like that's how you feel too. Is like
That
you're very
too, but I was also just like act like you've been to a fucking show before, dude. You're gonna get bumped into. Like fuck off. No, that night made me mad.
I like to joke about it and stuff like that, but I'm still a firm believer that if you're out here, like the one that drives me crazy is like when they're going towards the borders and they're just like,
Oh, fuck that shit.
like you're a bag of shit.
I'll
Like, this
knock
has
you the
People
fuck
just
out.
swinging to
this
hit
has
somebody is
nothing to do
stupid.
with the music or the fucking scene. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is just like I love to incite violence for no, you know. It's like
Most of the time I'm standing with my lady anyway, so I'm looking at like she's like out there like doing like the cute little dances and shit, and I'm like behind her making sure and like catching kicks and stuff like that. Like,
you're out here fighting for your life.
she's like 5'5" and like 100 pounds wet, like soaking wet. Like she's a small girl and yeah, no, I don't want to see her get hurt. I'll feel so bad. So I'm just like out there like stressing with a beer in my hand, just like don't knock my beer.
You're so sweet, man. I remember the last time I had a girlfriend that was that small. We went to go see. It was such a good show. It was, I don't remember who the opener was, but it was Black Dahlia Murder and Whitechapel.
Oh, nice.
And Black Dahlia Murder was doing all of Nocturnal, and Whitechapel was doing all of This Is Exile. So it was a phenomenal show. And
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
like
wild.
25,000 beers deep.
I'd have
You know
to
what I
call
mean?
out.
Like I'm fucking wasted, and
Yeah.
like it's same thing. You know, you're kind of doing the thing. She was like 5'3", maybe like 106 pounds. You know, and everything in me is trying to not be like just. Woo! It's like, wouldn't this be super cool? Like, if I just like, because I do feel like for sure, like, cause I do love to mosh, like, I do love to like bump and stuff like that. And yeah, dude, you want to go to fucking war? Like, you feel songs. It's like I remember listening to this in high school and angry. So you know,
Yeah.
I can't. It's hard for me to be the the protector. Like, it's so hard because I just want to be like, let's just go together. Like,
It depends on the
Just
band.
pick
for
her up
me.
and set her in the sound booth and then run around for a little bit.
Watch what he's doing. Watch what he's doing.
watch this. Fucking start swinging and shit. Like,
Like it depends on the show for me. Like if it's a show that like I'm there to see a specific band, then for the majority of the show I'm hanging out by the bar because I'm grabbing drinks. I'm having a good ass time. I'll sit
Prepping.
back. I'm out of the crowd. I'm not typically like right up in the shit. But once the band that I'm there to see it, like I'm fucking there. Like I'm up on against the rail, just looking straight at the whole band, just like fucking go. And then if it's for example, one of my show, I think it was like my 23rd birthday. Like there's August Burns Red.
is that the one where they did all of Constellations?
No, this was a different one. Like Moss to Flames was there, Veil of Maya.
Oh my God.
And like I would the
Damn.
whole time I was just fucking going.
Gotta
in,
go hard
dude.
for that.
And then he called me in the middle of one of my favorite songs. Because he's showing up. He's like, hey, where are you at? I'm like, oh, just missed my favorite song, dude.
Hold on.
Yeah, but where you at?
So you pick up just to make them feel like an asshole right there. But in any-day life, when you're just sitting on your bed watching TikToks, you see
Yeah,
him
he
call
won't
and you're
answer
like,
with dick.
yikes.
Nope.
Like, what an asshole. If you the one time called me and you were like, yeah, what's up? I would have hung up on you. I would have been like, fuck you, dude. Like, oh my God. I'm not even in this band with you guys, but I'm quitting this band. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if you did it
interesting.
or I don't know if you did it or if I did it, but we went to go see Idols. One of us took our shirts off.
You.
Me. And then he followed suit with it. Didn't you?
No.
Oh no.
I did not take my shirt off.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what caused me to do it, but I took my shirt off, and I just felt like it's punk music, but it's like I just felt so like just like primal, just bumping. And like the worst part about it was after that set, this huge native guy, like 6'8", like big dude, just does the wraparound and just pulls me in, who's also shirtless.
Yeah.
So you just hear like that, like the, you know, like it just like, and we're just so like, and then I go to him and I just grab him and I'm just all like wet, like it's just like,
yeah.
see that's where I feel alive, you know. But if you're out here
That's
just
where it's at.
kicking people,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
Man, the
that ain't
Idol
the name of
show,
the game.
No reason for it.
the Idol show, I had a mid time. I had a good time for most of the part, but there was one kid who, like, I don't know, he was.
he's always starting problems. This fucking.
I wasn't doing shit, bro. I was because that was a packed ass show, dude. We were like squeezed in, like fucking. Yeah, I don't know. We were all just. It was it was tight. And there was one dude, I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but I'm like 90% sure he was just rubbing his boner in my butt cheek the whole night.
That's what's up, dude.
Like,
You
I
getting
was-
He got his
cash?
finger out. He's like,
I kind of like, I remember because I would like try to move away and then I just feel it again. I just like, like, stop.
I would have turned around and be like, nah, dude, go.
Yeah. And then like you also get like the fucking idiots who just like fucking ragdoll, you know, and they're just like letting people like push them around like it's all tight. Ah. See, I get frustrated at shows now. I want to be in the back with beer, man. That's all I want
That's
to
the
do
place to be.
That's where I
That's what I'm
spend most
saying.
of my time at shows.
Shout out to the local guys too, like you guys. Who my favorite thing at local shows is when there's 25 people at the pub rock, and they're just like you and you. Come on. Come on. And they just keep doing it for a long time. I
Right.
love just keeping uninterrupted eye contact with that guy and just smile because I'm like, how long is he going to make these two dudes just do a circle pit together? Do you guys ever catch yourself doing that?
No, I have a wireless mic, so I'll jump in the crowd.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, that's
That's
sick.
cool. That's good rapport at a live show right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes.
I got tired of people like standing there with their like fucking hand. I'm like, you paid money for this shit. Like, have a good time. At least look like you're having a good time. If you're not having a good time, at least look. Get a couple more beers in you. Look like you're having a good time.
Support the venue.
So like, and I get like, you know, we're all getting older and shit. We all have work. Like, but so did I, bro. And I'm up here fucking performing for your ass. So I just got fed up with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grab a wireless mic and I'll go get in their face and fucking put my arm around them and all
pretty
with
what's up.
them to make it more interactive for them.
Pretty what's up. Do you have a favorite stage move? Are you
It's
a
the
like,
crabcore shit, bro.
Are you crab corn up there?
We
Yeah,
get
that's
down.
what's Keeping it alive. Do you guys do the in place jog? It's another
I
one of my
do.
old favorites. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, this fool will start shuffling like mid-set.
Yeah. That's so fucking sweet. I remember one time I was at the underground and some guy had a bass. Like it was I used to be a bass player, and I have this soft spot for bass players because I feel like in like just anything core bands, it's like a lot of those dudes just don't move. And and that was like in my old band is that like I was the only one, and they would give me shit, dude. I'm out there on my knee. I'm playing bass in a fucking deathcore band. Yeah, and I'm out there just shrugging the first string, but I'm out there like on my knees, fucking. Like I remember like there was like one song I had like a little bass solo where I would like do finger tapping.
Yeah,
there's just like 7 native dudes that are all just like, you know what I mean? But like everyone else is like not moving. And so like, there was this guy that was playing bass, and he was so excited. He's like, "Oh, dude, watch this!" On my during the breakdown, I like to get in the middle of the pit, and then I do a spin, like I spin my bass around, and then he does that thing where he catches it and lets the momentum, and then he spins.
Yeah,
Cool
yeah,
move, right? We've all seen it. Sick move, right? The guy gets everyone. He's like, everyone's like, oh, literally it stops. And the guy the drummer goes like the ting. He literally does it, bass right into the fucking ground. And then as he did it, I realized, how does he do this? Because there was no strap locks on that bass.
Huh.
And it literally went immediately, bang, and you just heard it on the fucking, on the PA system. It's just a bunch of teenagers just looking at a bass.
He was like,
That's
well,
rough.
Have you guys had any bad malfunctions?
A couple strings have broke.
That's the worst.
yeah, strings breaking is common.
Our fucking drummer is a tank, so he will knock it like
Yeah, he knocks his ride cymbal over a lot.
his ride, his crash, his fucking China.
Yeah,
Like
it's
try to
usually
duct
the
tape him
ride
down?
because he'll just be
No.
smacking the thing and it's up here and it'll just slowly wibble off and fall.
So do one of you guys just has like the job just be like, oh,
Dude, it's
like,
it's usually me most of the time.
like that
Like, I'll
scene in-
notice,
it's like-
I'll look back at him while I'm playing bass and I'll notice I'll be like, oh, shit. Like find somewhere where I don't or where I'm playing like open notes and just like slowly scoot it over.
now that I have a wireless mic, I've been a little bit more
for
active
you.
around the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on his shit too.
Nah, bro,
Like,
You're like the
Sit
team
still.
heel, dude. You're like the team healer. I get it. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Always reminds me of that scene in Whiplash where he's like fucking shredding and then like he like
a good
picks up
movie.
the thing for him. Like, good for you. Fucking Aaron from Exiled Martyr did a show at the Pub Rock and I was taking photos for that show. And I don't know what happened, but like they stopped playing for a second. And I look over, he fucking he fell. Like the floor literally cracked. And his drum seat just like I was like, oh fuck.
That's kind of a flex, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's just
He's girthy.
shattered the ground. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
dude.
gnarly.
So what do you do? What do you do with string changes? Do you guys have backups? Because I remember like,
We usually have backups.
that's
yeah.
good. Like because when I was a broke teenager, we had one guitar. Everyone had one guitar.
Yeah.
One amp. So if it breaks, you're SOL. Like, but you have backups. That's always
Yeah,
good.
yeah. We usually have at least like one backup guitar and like I always have a second bass there, even though nothing happens to it. I just feel secure.
Yeah.
I have had a microphone malfunction. It was near the end of our little brief tour a couple months ago, and I'm assuming it was my fault. We were playing out in Bisbee at this bar where it was like an elevated stage, so like the bar's down here, we're all the way up here, we're drinking. I'm feeling like I'm gonna fall off these fucking stairs. And we were doing a cover, an Asking Alexandria cover, and right at the last like gnarly scream that I go for, the fucking cord just shit out on me.
Oh.
And like I could hear that there was nothing coming out, and so I was like, fuck, shit.
He's trying to like wiggle
I
the
was
cord while he's
pushing
going.
it in and like trying to get it to
Did you guys see that one video? What's that Russian band, the super deathcore band? With
Started to prevail.
yeah, that guy. Did you see that video? The guy that just makes everyone be quiet and he just doesn't use the mic. Like I'm just like, that's fucking menacing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's a beast, and I've watched his videos and I try to mimic like a lot of like his technique.
A lot of again, insert blank core, like singers here have just become so evolved over the years. Like I mean, that dude doesn't even sound real.
Yeah,
You know what I
he's
mean? Like,
insane.
and I've been listening to like a lot of like old like Death albums from like the late 70s and early 80s where it's just like this is where it started and it just sounds horrible. Like he's really frying his vocal cords like to try to sound gnarly, but like there's just people who do this effortlessly.
Right.
Like I always think of because I just know him like if one singer that comes to mind is like Anthony Esposito, who's been in like a bunch of
I actually know him. He's a cool dude.
very cool dude, and he's been in a lot of bands. And I just was watching him do his thing, and like he's just fucking like it sounds like just. I'm like, how do you fuck you do that?
Yeah, dude's a menace.
Yeah.
I
It's
saw
so
this.
insane.
I saw this like vocal trainer. I think she is. She had
Melissa
this-
Cross.
huh?
Melissa Cross,
Is that her name? She's like the little old lady.
a little lady that works with all the metal vocalists.
Yeah.
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 Melissa
I saw her
Cross.
and I was like, she was like, I guess she like teaches people how to do that like dual tonal thing where it sounds like a demon or it sounds like you have like a pot over your mouth or
Yeah.
something. And like, I'm like, I haven't heard her do it. I don't know if she does it, but I like hear her like train a lot of people on how to do it. She was like, if you watch my videos, I'll show you how to do this too. I'm like, I
Yeah,
kind of
just
want
like
to
the
watch.
sweetest sounding lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She made a video with like Will Ramos and like a bunch of other fucking crazy
true.
metal artists.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool. I kind of want to buy her.
I
shit.
do too.
Yeah, right.
I do too.
Is that the guy-
I
is that
feel
the
like
guy-
I should.
Is that the guy from Lorna Shore?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I had never listened to them. I knew they were a crazy band, but like I never listened to them. But I got to go see why am I drawing the blank now? Fucking they did Blood and Thunder, Macedon, and Gojira, and Lorna Shore opened for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got to. I'm an old man now, so like I'm
Yeah,
sitting.
I
I'm
was
not-
gonna
I'm
try
not-
and go to that show, but I
Yeah,
couldn't make
was
it.
not in the pit. I was in a seat and like watching that stuff with like the 808 machines and him doing that thing. You're just and I'm stoned as fuck, dude. I'm like so wasted at this show, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? 'Cause it's just like again, like when a singer hits it, dude. But I've also seen singers in local shows that it's like this is my big break. Here we go, and then I've seen them puke, or I've seen them just, you know what I mean?
We've
Like,
seen a
yeah,
few pukers.
Yeah, dude, that sucks, dude.
Speaking of Lorna Shore, do you know how they got their name? So he's no longer in the band, but the like original whatever he did for the band, I think he was a guitarist.
Sure.
He loved like had like a comic book crush on a Batman character named Lorna. I don't know if her last name was Shore or not, but like the band name is based off of a character from a Batman comic.
Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
No, this is my comic book guy. I don't fucking know.
I do not.
Yeah, she was like a
Was
museum.
it their old vocalist?
It might have been. She was like a.
Because their vocalist is Chelsea Grin's vocalist now.
I don't know. I can't. He said that. I don't know. It was a video. You can look it up, but essentially, it's this person in Batman who she's in Batman's life for like literally 2 panels,
Oh, okay.
and she's a museum curator,
And he's just like a super simp for this lady.
yeah. I'm assuming her. Yeah,
Oh.
that's according to Will Ramos.
Oh. I feel like we talked about this the last time that you were here. Did we talk about the origin of your name? Are you guys 2 original members?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So who came up with that name?
We kind of both did. Like,
Damn, he was about to just take a credit
no, like
immediately.
he came up with the whole like the Another Day's Demons thing because we were bouncing a bunch of names off.
Yeah, it
And,
was like one night after a practice, we were like debating between different names because we had decided that we wanted to change what the original name was, but never decided on a specific like name after that. So we were just bouncing shit off each other. And yeah, we came up with Another Day's Demons and like went into the context of it between ourselves and everything, and we just liked it.
I mean, it's a cool name. I mean, it's a pretty solid name.
Did he tell you what the meaning is behind it?
I don't remember, but so you'll have to
So yeah,
indulge me
it's
again.
essentially like it's funny because a lot of these like Karens and moms and shit, they're like, oh, Another Day's Demons, I don't like that shit. But the idea is like every day you got to wake up, face your demons, you got to face your challenges, like whatever is bothering you the day that you're doing it, you can still sleep it off. You can wake up the next day, still got to face your demons, face your problems, go through life, and that's the only way you'll accomplish anything. That's
Yeah.
like the general idea behind it.
every day is a new day.
very positive message.
New Demon.
I
Yeah.
dig it. Yeah,
So
fuck
we,
yeah.
we write indie rock band names. That's our favorite pastime, and none of them have any meaning like that.
I love it.
I think we labeled it down. We'll go to you know what I'm gonna say, but one of my favorites is Weekend Dads.
Okay.
You know, and then I also our main one is Stogie.
I like that.
That was a
I like
cool band
that.
name. Do
Stogie,
we have some
yeah.
other ones?
So I always make this joke that like if you've ever played any of the Castlevania games, like
No.
I know about him.
I've
I
seen the
haven't played
show.
him.
I haven't
any item
played
you
other
pick up in that
games.
game sounds like a sick band name. Like my favorite one in that is called Power of Sire.
Oh, okay.
That's tight.
Yeah. And then there's like Fist of
down.
Tulkus or like
Just sound like power
Cube
metal
of
bands.
Zoe or something like that.
Yeah.
They're all just items you pick
All
up.
deathcore
but they
band
all
names.
sound like crazy band names.
That's sick.
Well, hey man, I'm putting out the APB. I got this Schecter just burning a hole in my wall right now. I'm trying to do a hardcore band. I'm still trying to name it Die Trying. That is the sickest hardcore name I've ever come up with in my entire life. If anyone wants to
pretty
make some
tight.
horrible hardcore music, absolutely please hit me up because I want to make some ironic hardcore music so bad. I hate crowd killing, but I want to see people punch each other in the fucking face at my show. So, you know.
That's got to be why they don't do a shit about it, right? Because it's like you don't want to be part of that, but you want to see it happen.
But
because of
no,
it.
because we've seen those videos, dude. I've never seen it at a deathcore show. I've never seen it at death metal. I've never seen it at slam metal. Anything. It's just hardcore bands where like they're letting people up. People are like moshing and like crowd killing on the stage.
Yeah, I've
like
seen that
it's
shit.
so crazy. There was one that just happened, and I know that because the band, not Tsunami, Speed. Which is I don't know if you're familiar with them, but there's a crazy, just California hardcore band. Dude, led by the sickest. It's so funny because hardcore bands are always. I always feel like I always think of like Kublai Khan. As like just like these buff, scary dudes, you know,
Yeah.
or like that meme guy who does like the dance, you know,
Yeah.
like yeah, you know what I mean. But like this dude is a small little Asian kid. He's like fucking like 5'2", and he's out here with a windbreaker and like camo pants. And he's the scariest motherfucker of all time. They just did a show where they put up barricades. The first fucking song, these kids literally like zombies just like took them and just like fuck these things, and then just like climbed up on the stage, and you just see like the stagehands just like
They're like, we can't stop
Where
that.
we'll die.
Yeah, they're just throwing people off the stage and shit like that.
I don't know. It's like I feel like that energy sounds cool until you get some real weirdos up there, man. I don't know. I feel like in the moment that might sound sweet.
Like it's so sick, but also sketchy at the same time.
I'm ready to hit someone.
I feel like
I
there
don't
is-
give a fuck.
I
Whack 'em
feel like
with the
there is
bass.
kind of like a code of ethics. Like even if you are getting crazy at that kind of show, you know, like I feel like that's cool. Like people climbing up and like punching each other on stage and shit. But it's like, imagine if like a dude walks up and like takes your mic and starts doing your parts. Like how would you feel about that?
I'd punch him in
I'd
the
probably
face.
kick him in the nuts.
what
Like,
I'm saying,
truthfully.
right?
Dude,
Like that's my shit. Get that back, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
dude.
Like I feel like that's something that someone would do. I've seen that happen.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
where,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
just, blah, 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 you know.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
man.
if I welcomed it, if I was like, "You come up here,
Yeah.
you know, do your
Or,
best."
yeah, or if you're like doing
if
the
I-
thing.
Oh,
if
he
I-
knows the song type shit.
That's different.
But I get anxious, dude. Like I see, like I remember the guitar player for Idols went in the crowd.
Yeah.
He just went in the crowd and just started jamming, and he wasn't wireless. They literally had like 4 dudes just like
Yeah.
pulling a quarter inch.
People are
just
wild for
And then
that.
like, but like and again, like there is definitely a code of it. Like if you love the band, like you're not gonna be an asshole.
You're not gonna try to fuck them over.
But having said that, it's the band. You don't give a shit about anyone else who's there because again, I see like those shows. And like, there's dudes who they don't crowd or they don't stage dive. They fucking like drop kick, like like Liu Kang bicycle kick.
Yeah.
and like they like go up and they're just like fucking like you know what I mean. I'm just like, what a douchebag. You know what I mean? Like
That's fucking
Trying to
wild.
kick
Do you remember that
somebody's
Motley Crue
girlfriend in
video
the
I sent you?
face.
which one?
I sent you a video recently of Motley Crue where like a dude climbed up. It's Motley Crue, you know, and this guy climbs up on the stage, and even like the background singers are like, "Oh shit," you know. And you see like Nikki Sixx, and he just holds his guitar like a bat, dude, like he's about to nail this guy.
This dude's like 68
Yeah,
years
he's like,
old.
yeah,
He's like,
dude.
oh, you son of a bitch.
He's
Wrong
just like,
move.
no, the guy got pulled off like in
Yeah.
time, but he was ready to take him out. Like
You gotta be like
Especially
low-key.
when you're like that big of a band, you don't know if they're just doing that because they don't give a shit and want to have fun, or if they're actually trying to attack you.
I think,
walk up there and
I think it's alcohol for sure.
I remember
Like,
that
that's for
podcast you
starters.
did 5 years ago.
Witness me.
Talking all that shit.
The prophecy's ran. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely booze or drugs for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to shows where it's just like you're feeling it so much, you just feel like again you feel invincible, and you love the band so much that you want to be part of the band. You know what I mean? Like you want to be up there. But yeah, again, it's just like the people who defend that. It's kind of like I don't know if you ever remember like that video of like what's his name from Maroon 5.
Adam Levine.
And like he was being like people were saying like he was like being a prick because like some girl like bum rushed him and he was like,
what the fuck?
Oh, I've seen that.
No,
video.
it's just like you just don't know. And like you said, like unless it's welcome, dude, like how scary. Like, and you could be like, you're a big dude, right? But I mean, even if like a scrawny little dude comes up and tries to like, even if like first of all, they're never casually walking. First of all, he's sprinting at you full fucking speed.
Because they want to beat security to get to you.
Right. and like, you know, it's like, even if he like slides on his knees and then just starts fucking doing this just so he could do that for a second. Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of like, just like, you can't fucking help it. Like people are just crazy out there, dude.
Not to
Plus,
mention,
I mean,
we're
like,
all on
security's
adrenaline
only as
highs.
good as it is, dude. There's always somebody at a show that could possibly sneak a knife in or some crazy shit like
dude,
that.
especially,
Like,
and again, I'm not going to name some of these, but like, I could, if someone wanted to, they could sneak some shit in. Like, you know what I mean? Like especially at local shows, they really need to step their game up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
even like big shows I've seen recently, like fucking some of the like big, I'm not going to name names, but like certain big venues I've fucking walked through and I'm like, dude, this is all you guys are doing for security right now? Like, dang. Wild.
My ex had a friend that worked at a big venue, and we would get shows for free all the time. And I can tell you, like, yeah, we would just be waved right through. But like their security, and I hope we're talking about the same place because, like, yeah, dude, like I knew the insides of it, and I was just like, dude, if I wanted to be on tonight's news, like, I could fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Is it the one where you go from the right hand side and you go through? And it goes right into the curtain.
We'll say right after.
Because I think I know that place.
We'll say immediately right after. Actually, one thing before we start doing the plugs and stuff like that, we're talking about just terrifying fans at shows. If you guys could say one thing that like is good show etiquette from the perspective of the bands, like what is one thing that maybe you would like to see more, or like I just don't like it when people do this. It'd be cool like if you guys didn't do this. Like, is there something that collectively or individually you're like, I've seen this before and that kind of sucks? It could be talking about the audience, it could be about the promoters, it could be about merch guys. I mean, like, is there one thing that you want to see change at local shows?
Yeah.
I think one thing for me is I have like two things.
All right, give me two things. We don't have enough time for two things.
Don't steal mine. Don't steal my thing.
I probably will.
How about you go, then you go, then you go again? So,
yeah, okay.
There we go.
So one thing is every band talks about it. They all have an issue with it, and it always happens, but like sometimes people have work, sometimes this, that, and the other, but bands and the fans that they invite for the shows that they get put on, as soon as the band is done playing, if they're not the fucking headliner, they leave, their crowd leaves.
That's a great answer.
Happens every fucking show.
I agree. As a bystander, I agree. Nothing kills your boner more than when that happens.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Mine is sound guys that are fucking way late. Like you're supposed to be there at 4 and they show up at 6 when doors open.
Ouch.
It's fucking annoying, especially when like
That's happened a lot of shows recently too.
There was one particular like grouping of shows where I swear it was the same fucking sound guy, but each time allegedly his fucking dog died, but like 3 times in a row.
Dang.
And I'm not saying that it's not entirely possible,
Said,
but
"Shit, I'm
that's
late.
traumatic. If
I gotta
that is
kill
real.
another dog, or else they're not gonna believe me.
Fuck,
I would like, before you go on to your second one, I would definitely like to add on to that one about the sound guy. If you're a sound guy that's also in charge of the lighting, and as a photographer, you ask me what lights don't you want, and then you just completely disregard what I just said. Like a photographer's nightmare is red and purple. Those are just the 2 worst lights.
Those are like a band's favorite colors.
Yeah.
I know, but no, and that's the thing is I tell every single band that I do picture orders, I'm like, hey, what colors are you going to tell them to do? Because I'm telling you, if you do red, if you do purple, I can do it. They're just not going to look the best.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're like, yeah, that's fine, just tell them whatever. And I go over there, and the first song fucking just red. I'm like, awesome, you know. So if you're that fucking sound guy,
Fair.
stop killing your dogs and fucking.
I think
Stop
sound
letting that
guys
guy
is
have a
big-
dog.
Yeah.
What's your second one?
Dude, it's not even a big one. It's just like I don't care if there's a show that doesn't have a lot of crowd interaction, but like people that will purposefully like go and sit down or not like pay attention to the bands that are playing just because they're waiting for one specific band. Like, even if you don't necessarily like them too much, show them the respect of like at least standing up, getting in the crowd area instead of like being
Spread
in
the
other
love.
areas of the bar. Yeah, just like be positive about it. Too many people are fucking negative about
Mm-hmm.
shows they go to, except for the one band they show up
And
for.
they're so open about it too. Like,
Yeah.
they're so like, oh, not, my son's band is done, so
Yeah.
I'm over this shit.
Like,
You know,
this
it's-
band's whatever, but the next band,
right?
Dude,
Fuck
some
off.
people will like even boo other bands and shit. I'm like, aren't you this kid's dad, the
Yeah.
guitarist for this other band?
Damn.
Stop it, dude.
What about you? What would you like to see differently at shows?
Uh,
People just trying to fight you for no reason.
if you're gonna fight me, hit me first, so I can.
yeah, don't try to
Kill
put their
you.
PP in your butt.
And don't stick your boner in my butt cheek. That was not cool.
The
man.
flex was cool though. Can they keep flexing?
That was the corniest shit, bro. I mean, I don't know.
He said, "I'll fucking get you."
I'm fine with most of the stuff. Like I'll get in there. I'll mosh. You know, like I'm fine for the most part. That it's just that shit that gets me annoyed. Like if you know you're gonna get jostled around, you know there's gonna be a stray mosher like flying out of the crowd or something. Like, man, just chill out. You know.
Get
Go get
further into the
seated
crowd.
ticks.
Why are you standing at the edge of the pit?
Christian said, "If you hit me, you better make it count.
You better put me out cold because I'm coming after you.
Gonna hit me with that big bet. Better make it hoit."
No, just understand. Like, yeah, dude, you're gonna get a little beat up at a show. Like,
yeah.
fucking
And
take
if you
it.
don't want to, there's always like the seat tickets.
Yeah,
that you
just
could
go
buy.
back there somewhere. I don't fucking
Stand on the back wall with me. We'll share a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, after that guy, I'm like, yeah, I just want a beer. But no, yeah, I don't know. There've been a few shows like we went like when we went to Seattle. I was up in there. I was all over the place, and that was after Devil Wears Prada, right? Yeah. So just for that, I don't know. Fuck that guy.
What about you? What do you want to see different? This is my podcast now, by the way.
Primarily, in all honesty, more attendance. I know that we all have things in life going on, and I'm not saying that you should beat yourself up because you can't make it. And by you saying you can't make it, I don't think that, or I think that just you being in a bad mood, like just had a bad day, is a totally acceptable answer for sure. But I do feel like there's a lot of friends that you have that, you know, that are just like, oh yeah, man, totally. And they're just at home smoking weed and watching TV. And it's just like, I got nothing else to do. What's $10 in the grand scheme of things to just take a couple pictures, you know? I'm a huge just advocate for just promotion. I mean, amongst friends. I mean, we don't get anywhere unless you're friends. If we're all just waiting for someone to catch our big break, you know, we're never gonna get anywhere, you know. And I am more than thankful for our dedicated followers all went to high school with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
That's
funny,
dope.
but I love it. And it's like for example, we didn't have an episode last week. So it's like I had like 3 messages. Where's the episode? Where's it? You know what I mean? Because like they
That's awesome.
enjoy. Yeah, no, it's great. But my thing is that it's just like, you know, do I get mad when people don't share our shit? No. But I think that if you can make your Facebook profile picture have a fucking translucent French flag
Yeah.
after the fucking French terrorist attacks and be like, I'm doing my part.
Yeah, while you live in America.
You can absolutely just take the 5 seconds to share a music video or our most recent episode and again, if you don't want to, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just saying that if you have those ambitions for your friends, it takes 5 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
It takes 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is even before the show, I just want to see more attendance.
Actually, man, you really hit home somewhere because throughout my life, I've heard like, oh, dude, you're really good at what you do. Like, you're gonna be famous one day. You're gonna be famous one day. Like, blah blah blah. Damn, dude. Like, how long? And then here we are, fucking doing the thing that we said that we set out to do. Where the fuck are they?
Right.
Like
The
I'm not.
support is
I don't.
so flimsy. It's hilarious.
Like,
and it's hard when it's hard when I feel bad because we started talking about a really good thing when we're you know we'll extend a little bit. We like you guys. It is hard because when you're friends amongst friends, you're just kind of circle jerking each other around. Like you guys can support each other all day long, but unless you're coming to my show, even when you're not performing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like it's just like it stays there. So it really does take the passion of like friends.
Yeah, one thing I see that ties into that whole idea is like I constantly see people they're like oh, we want to come to your show. When are you guys playing next? This, that, and the other. I have people like I work at a bar. I have people come up to me 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a month and say, "When's your next show?" I'm like, "Oh, did you follow our Facebook page? We posted about it every day this week."
Right.
Like I get to that point where I'm a little bit fed up of like I could tell you every week when you come up to me, but you said you followed our social media, you said you're checking us out and everything, but you're obviously not.
Right.
Is the whole
And
spiel.
again, it's not like you are trying to be a dick about it, but you want my honest answer. Here's my honest answer.
Yeah.
The honest answer is that it's just like, oh, we'd love to see this. We'd love to see that. Oh, man, like, what else can I do to support the show? Hey, you can give me $5 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
You know, we have a Patreon where you have 5, 10, 15, just $5 a month goes a long way. I doubt you'll even see that $5. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess like, yeah, like that. I mean, it's a very, you know, woke answer, but it really is just like homies just need to help more homies out. I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
At the show, know your limits. That's my thing. I got to tell you that if you're way too drunk, it's time for you to sit down. That's the one I'll tell you if
Fair.
you're already at the show. If you've had too many beers, sit down. That's the one I want to see change too, because I can't handle drunk morons anymore. And I can't handle drunk morons who not only, and then they get in the pit and then they either throw up on the floor or they just sit on the floor because they're like, ugh.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm like,
God.
yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. So,
Weakness disgusts me.
yeah. So we're at the point now where we'd like to do some plugs. If you guys can take turns. We were talking about some upcoming shows you guys have. Anything big in the works that you guys want to go ahead and talk about? Anyone can start first.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say we do have 2 new songs that we have recorded. We're probably going to release them separately, but we're going to have some promo things coming out, some videos coming out. We're trying to do more with our social media. So, yeah, I guess just look out for the 2 songs that we have coming out pretty soon.
And where can people find you?
Fucking Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Our social media is Another Day's Demons Band on TikTok and Instagram and everything. So.
And we're the only Another Day's Demons, so it's not that hard.
Okay.
No, that's a hard one too.
Yeah,
Bands
yeah.
having the same name as like
Yeah.
some other place in Sweden.
Hey
or
man, not
something.
sponsored, but also shout out Linktree, bro. It's all in one fucking spot. You don't even need to go like them all individually. There's one link. I'm assuming you guys have something along that too.
Yeah, through our
Yeah.
Instagram, all of our links are on there.
Yeah, it's
Very
called
cool.
with Koji. It's very similar format. Another plug would be shameless plug. We have a show coming up September 3rd at Yucca Tap Room, 21 plus. It's a free show, so fucking
No
come on down.
excuses.
Yeah, right.
Zero excuses. You heard it here first. If you can make the fucking drive,
You can't afford free, man. I think you got more problems in your life than
you're banned from music if you can't afford free.
It's like, can you buy me an Uber?
Awesome, you guys. Before we go, just want to make another reminder too, patreon.com/basementdweller productions, $5, $10, $15 a month. Anything helps to support the show. Remember, $15 a month does get you a wonderful penis drawing. We didn't even mention that. Shout out to Keegan. Actually, he doesn't even fucking remember. It was his idea to even get that idea started. Our $15 a month patron subscribers, the first 100 will get a custom one-of-one wiener drawing that have different designs on them.
That's actually awesome.
We have 2 satisfied customers already. Please, if you guys want to be the 3rd through the 100th, they're there. Again, $5, $10, $15. Patreon.com/basementdweller productions. Also, September 9th, which is a Saturday, we will be at the 120 Tap Room in Gilbert, Arizona for ScaredyCon. It is just a horror themed event. Just local vendors, artists, musicians. There's like local food trucks. ScaredyCast actually got their own custom beer. So they're going to have their own beer there.
Hell yeah, dude.
And their own custom cider. So go ahead and check that out. And also, yours truly, me and Christian will be there as well doing our first ever live recording. So,
I'm scaled.
yeah.
I'd
we'll
have
be
a
fine.
scaredy beer.
Yeah, there you go. And we hope to see you guys there. Excuse me. Another Day's Demons. Keegan, Mike, thank you guys so much for coming on. Everyone else, we love you. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, type into their Instagram and Twitter. The information's right below with their email.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy.
Be sure to log into the channel by subscribing and check out the previous episodes. But until then, we'll see you next week with a new one. We out for now.